This episode was sponsored by Skillshare. Welcome to another episode of the Photo Department. I'm drinking iced coffee because it is Los Angeles and it's currently 90-something degrees. You can tell that I'm hot because my hair is like really curly. Couple things really quick. If you haven't watched my last video, I announced my 10K subscriber contest. It's right up here if you want to watch it. Make sure you're following on Instagram and keep your eyes on this channel to have a chance to win one of my personal Olympus XAs. If you haven't checked out our latest episode of the Spooky Park Bench podcast, you should check it out now. The description has a link to it. We talk with the legendary Ray Barbie, and it's a really awesome conversation, so you should go listen to that when you have a chance. You can also follow us on Instagram at Spooky Park Bench. So I don't want to talk too much, but I do kind of want to premise this video a little bit. I have been really fascinated with the idea of shooting stills with cinema motion picture film ever since cinestill came out with 800T and 50D. I think that someone like me who's really influenced by films and movies, I'm really trying to photograph things in a way that looks like it could be a still frame from a movie. And kind of the inherent promise of cinema film is that you'll get kind of that cinematic quality just from it being motion picture film. Kodak Vision 3 is the industry standard for motion picture film. It is really beautiful. It has a range of ISOs. Everyone uses it, and it's really fantastic for motion pictures. Cinestill started offering Kodak Vision 3 film repackaged as their own film, except they take off the remjet layer. The remjet layer is a layer of carbon that is basically on the back of motion picture film, and it lubricates the film as it's transported at high speed through motion picture cameras, and then it also is an anti-halation layer, and halations are those glowy red things around light sources you've seen in cinestill film. Some of us love it, some of us hate it, but when you remove that remjet layer like cinestill does, you get those glowy halations around light sources. The big difference between cinestill and regular motion picture film is cinestill is being cross-processed in C41, whereas motion picture film is processed in ecn-2, which is a purpose-built specialty processing that is specifically for motion picture film and includes a step to remove that remjet layer. There's already a big community of people who shoot motion picture film and develop it with ecn-2 in order to get really cinematic colors. In my research, I've heard a lot about how ecn-2 provides a more flat negative. So when you scan it, it's really, really flat, kind of like log when you do digital video. If you shoot in log, you get a really flat image, and then you can color grade on top of it. And it allows you to have a lot of dynamic range and a lot of flexibility when doing color grading. Same thing with film. That process is supposed to allow for a really flat picture in order for you to color grade it and have the maximum dynamic range. And I was really interested in seeing what that looked like and how that would work in practice. My friend Colton, who is awesome and a master crazy genius, he used to package ecn-2 chemistry and roll motion picture film in 35mm cassettes for sale. He now works at cinestill, so he can't do that anymore. But he hooked me up with some film, some 500T and 250D, so that I could shoot motion picture film the way it just normally comes and then develop it in ecn-2 and see what kind of results I get. I've been really excited to try this. I've been meaning to try it for a long time, but Colton took the time to show me what it would be like developing this film and kind of like put a lot of my fears to rest. So big shout out to Colton for kind of pushing me over the ledge and finally got me to try processing ecn-2. So I want to take a quick second and talk about our sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community full of thousands of classes for creative and curious people like you and me. I know I've already talked about this a couple times, but I just really love the color grading class by Dan Liu. It's just so good, and it's really helped me figure out what I'm looking for and how to achieve exactly what I'm going for when it comes to color grading. The way that she describes the concepts is very clear and concise. All of the examples that she shows are super helpful, and I think I'm pretty happy with where I'm at with color grading now, but I still will go back and revisit just to kind of like sharpen the edge on some of those skills. There's so much more on Skillshare for everyone, not just, like I said, editing video. You can have access to all of it with Skillshare Premium. If you want to check Skillshare out and see what there is there for you, there's a link in my description, and the first 1,000 people who sign up with that link will get a free membership. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I decided I wanted to shoot this film in like your not typical LA urban landscapes. So my friend Austin and I went with Colton up to Mount Baldy and basically spent the day wandering around the Angeles National Forest, taking photos and having a good time. Spoiler alert, this film looks amazing. I did screw up the development because I got too much in my head and I made a mistake. Instead of adding the stop bath after my development step, I added my fixer, which is essentially a bleach bypass development process. If you want to know what bleach bypass looks like, you can check out the movie Three Kings or the beginning of Saving Private Ryan when they storm the beach. That is what a bleach bypass process looks like when it's final, but that's not what I was going for. So I did a little bit of a panic, but then when I calmed down, I just went through the rest of the process normally. I just pretended like the fixer was the stop bath, and then I did the bleach and then the fixer again. And surprisingly, I didn't screw it up. It just kind of was a little bit more contrasty than I was expecting, but barely any difference. The colors look really great, but you can kind of judge for yourself.
Oh, it looks like some Twin Peaks.
Is it for the gram?
Yeah, this is for the gram.
I split the difference. Shadow side.
I'm about to do roller.
This is some Twin Peaks shit from this side. Everything horizontal today because I'm shooting on cinema film, so I'm probably going to crop to 16 by 9. Down under
we get sheet that's filmed.
Keep it on me.
Caught in 4K.
Yeah. I don't know, I would have slowed it down a little bit.
Because that little umbrella hat's like usually golfers will wear them. Yeah, but your reference is Space Jam, which is way funnier. got it?
Yep.
Do you guys know what tones are? We're gonna stop by a jail and leave you there.
That would be. Have you shot any hectare?
Purple, red, blue.
I really love how these came out. I think that the colors are saturated in such a way that it's not an oversaturation, but they just look really pretty. Everything looks really true to life, but also kind of has like a little bit of like it's like a little bit of like life, like more life. I don't know how to explain it. I just really love the way the colors came out and the way the contrast looked. These scans were all done flat. I just processed them in Negative Lab Pro and then added a little bit of contrast to all of them, and then made sure the exposure was good. And that's all I did. I didn't mess with the color at all. So this is pretty much what I got. I'd love to know if anybody who watches this video is into ECN2 processing or has been doing it for a while. If you want to see more of me shooting ECN2, let me know in the comments. If you have any tips or suggestions, I'd love to know those as well. I think this is a really cool, different way to approach film photography, and I'm kind of hooked. I think it's really cool. So I'm definitely going to be shooting more. Definitely going to have some projects dedicated to ECN2. So yeah, cool. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your support. Like I said in the beginning of the video, check out the video about my 10K subscriber contest. Make sure you're following on Instagram so you can see updates, and make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell checked so you can know when I drop that video, because when I drop the video is only going to be a very short amount of time that you could enter the contest before it is closed. So you don't want to miss it. You can follow me on Instagram at the photo department, or you can follow my personal and professional work at Christopher Michael Sturm. Make sure you check out the Spooky Park Bench podcast. We are having more guests, more topics, more stuff. We have listener questions every week. So make sure you check out the Spooky Park Bench. It's available, like I said, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and kind of everywhere else. Okay, I am sweating. I'm going to put the air conditioner back on. I need to go buy a tank top. All right. Love ya.